was a far sweeter sheen for me, I ween, than the brood and unblushing nude. But every leaf awakens my grief.
First show I did was Man of La Mancha when I was a second-year student. The last shows that I did were A Doll's House and A Doll's House Part 2. I've done A Christmas Carol many, many times. Life is a Dream. All the Kent Harif books, so Plainsong, Eventide, Benediction, All My Sons. A lot of the Shakespeare's, of all plays I've done, 49. I counted them up, and Sam Gregory and I are tied at 49.
So let autumn air.
Some actors are outside in, where they do all the interior work first and then build to the outside, and other actors are inside out. So outside, you do all the blocking first, and then you move inward. Inside out, you do all the character work, and then you move outward. I'm kind of an outside-in actor. I like to know where I'm going, I like to block everything, I like to kind of set where I'm gonna be, and then I feel free enough to be able to explore the character. So that's kind of how I work on a role. I went to the National Theatre Conservatory back in 19... And the most impactful thing I learned from the National Theatre Conservatory, I was in the second year and I was doing one of the play readings because they used to do the New Play Summit. I was doing a play called The Dark Side, which was about the moon and astronauts and their wives, and I was working opposite Michael X. Martin. And I remember when we did that reading, Michael turned to me and looked me in the eye. And I was so startled because no one had ever really looked me in the eye before. I don't know, it was the way he looked at me. He was really listening, and he just looked at me, and it was so simple. And I was like, oh, that's what real acting is. This is real acting. You just look at the other person and listen. There have been so many crazy things that happened backstage. I do remember one time, the very first time I played Mrs. Fezziwig, and I had been understudying Kathy Brady for 10 years. I was an ensemble member, dance person at the time. We were sitting in the dressing room. Kathy was all dressed as Mrs. Fezziwig, and she turned to me and she said, I feel really dizzy. I don't think I can go on. And she took her wig off and she handed it to me. And I was like, what? We're on in like a minute. I put on Kathy's wig. I have my own costume on. I put on her gray wig. Mr. Fezziwig and the two boys were already on the stage having a scene. So there was no way to inform Harvey Blanks, who was playing Mr. Fezziwig at the time, that I was coming out. No way to tell him. The music hits and I come out and I'm like, Mr. Fezziwig. And Harvey's like, oh. And he stopped for a minute, he's like, Mrs. Fezziwig, look at you.
As many have found to their pain, but my song.
I think the thing that I've learned during COVID is that the things before that used to stress me out are really not that important. The things that are important are your family, your friendships, your staying connected with your colleagues, because nobody's working right now. You just can't worry about the things that you can't control. And I used to worry about all those things all the time. You know, spend time with those people that you love, any way that you can, whether it's sitting on Emma Messinger's porch having tea, or, you know, Zooming with my parents, trying to teach my mom how to look into the camera. You know, those are the things that are important. You know, I used to think, oh, this is it, this is the end. But it's not the end. We'll come back. Because live theater is like nothing else.